Hey folks, this is Vagrant. Welcome back to The Last of Us Part 2. We're currently infiltrating a camp where we think Abby is being held. It's actually a camp for the Rattlers, that's the word I'm looking for. And they seem to be keeping slaves. So we're assuming that's what's been going on with Abby. And hopefully we can find her, break her out and kill her. I guess is the idea. Constant. Every time I see it now, I'm like, yeah, there it is again. I can't help it. I shouldn't have pointed it out to myself. It's ruined all those animations for me. Little poke around. Okay, let's go with silence gun just in case. Although this is looking jail celly, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Something flashing down there. Can I do this? Nope. But there's something flashing over there, look. Is that not an item? Did I just waste a bullet for no reason? More importantly, a silencer charge for no reason? Oh well. I was thinking about this, by the way. I've mentioned a couple times how I felt like my playthrough was dragging on a little bit. What if this is the final episode, and this is episode 28? I had a look on how long is this game, kind of thing, how long to beat. And main game completion with people who take their time is about 28 hours. Come on, Ellie. Come on, Ellie. Oh, again with the eyes.
Kill her, bitch! I got the key. Unlock the door. Right, come on, let's go.
Hey, where's Abby?
She's bit. Keep back.
Hey, don't put that fucking thing in me!
Hey! Abby tried to escape. She's down in the pillars.
The pillars?
Head down to the beach. You won't miss it.
The pillars.
She's probably already dead.
Oh, good.
Come on.
I saved the slaves. I think what we want here is probably the... Oh. Something's going on. I can't change my gun. Oh no.
Where are you?
Dramatic final moment.
Abby.
Ellie's obsession with this girl has reached incredible levels. It really has. I can see her killing her and then just collapsing into her own death. It's like this. We can't both stay alive. Like they both have to die together. Go on, prisoners. You can do it. I believe in you guys. Well, you kind of had it coming, love, if I'm honest. Just really bandage that up. So what are the pillars?
To the beach.
Oh damn, they didn't waste any time, did they? Yeah, let's just burn this whole thing down. Woo! I really can't change the gun, can I? No. Let's go to the beach each. Let's go get away. I gotta move on here a little bit. Oh, I hope Lev's okay. I didn't see Lev in the thing. Oh, god damn.
Holy. Abby?
Hi. That's Abby there. Is that Lev? Aww. Hang them up and then the birds pick at them and... Jesus. She's actually alive. That's Abby, right? No? Oh, no. Doesn't look like her. It's because of the short hair.
Please. It's you. Abby,
Oh, Lev's okay.
I got you. I got you. They're both this way.
This is very strange. Wait, how's Tommy alive? I just realised he got shot in the head, but he must have like... I just must have been the back of his head, like kind of like down past the side. He was hobbling a bit, maybe he like clipped his brain but not enough to kill him. Can you clip a brain and not kill someone? Yeah, of course you can. Hey, it's the boat from the title screen. Oh, Ellie, just leave it alone.
I can't let you leave. I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna fight you. Yes, you will. He's not a part of this. You made him a part of this. Okay. Okay.
Do I really want a one-on-one fist fight with Abby? I feel like that's not good for Ellie at all. Oh, well, here we go. got sliced and bloody diced right there. She should be near enough dead already. She's been cut to freaking ribbons. Oh god, this feels wrong. This isn't fun. No, Ellie, no! Ah!
Go. Just take him.
Why do I suspect Dina isn't going to be here any longer? She did warn us. She said she isn't going to do this anymore. Can't say I blame her. Absolutely cleared the place out. She doesn't even seem particularly sad about it. It's like she knew her and Dina weren't going to work out, considering the circumstances of the both of them. Can't even play guitar anymore. Are you kidding me? Thought there was a bloody ending there.
What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Where'd you get that?
Those people that came through last week.
Oh.
A little embarrassed as to what I had to trade to get it, but it's not bad.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah, I know.
And you need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Okay. Dina. Is she your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know why she did that.
But you do like her.
So stupid.
I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
You're such an asshole.
trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
Yep.
I wonder if she heads back to Jackson after that, or does she go do her own thing? Anyways, that's the end of The Last of Us Part 2. Can I skip this? Thank you. No offense, credit sequence, but not interested. Right, unless there's a post-credit sequence, in which case I feel terrible already, but I doubt there is. It doesn't seem like that kind of game. Oh, it's different. Cool. So you guys haven't seen this, but this picture was, for the longest time, was the boat in California in the mist and everything like that. Well, you did see, you saw it on the very first video we ever did. That's what it looked like, and it looked like that for the entire game. It has just changed. I'm assuming the implication is that this is where Abby and Lev went to be with the Fireflies. Oh yeah, they said it was an island, didn't they? They were Catalina Island or something like that, so I'm assuming that means Abby and Lev got what they wanted and they got to be with the Fireflies. So I mean, technically someone had a happy ending, and it was Abby, oddly enough. Abby got the best ending. Ellie kind of got shafted. Joel died. Dina left her, and she didn't get the revenge that she was going for the entire game, basically. Now, Abby clearly didn't care about that by the end. Abby was done with fighting and the revenge, and you could see Abby change a lot more than Ellie, actually, in a lot of ways. Abby became less and less interested in fighting throughout the game, I think, and she sort of softened up throughout the game quite a lot as she lost people, and then with all the things with the kids, and she just wanted to get back to the Fireflies and find a home and be safe, I think. I don't think she's interested in being who she was at the start. I think Owen got to her a little bit as well. Owen talking constantly about the war and how pointless it was and how they didn't find the light. And it looks like Abby found the light. Abby had a pretty good story, I would say, in a lot of ways. Ellie's story, I'm less convinced by. So my main problem with it is... So, just that whole ending sequence, right? She cuts Abby's down. So she saves Abby. Abby was dead if Ellie doesn't come and save her, right? Fundamentally, Abby is dead. And also, Ellie could have just killed her very easily while she's hanging up. And obviously, she didn't want to do that. But she cut her down, and she started the fight. And she was going to win. She was going to win the fight. She was going to kill Abby. Abby was going to drown. And the whole reason she started the fight was she saw that flashback of Joel, you know, with the bloodied face, and it was plaguing her and she couldn't see past it. And then just before she killed Abby, she saw the flashback of Joel happy with the guitar. And I think the idea was that's what convinced her to not kill Abby for some reason. I mean, the idea is revenge doesn't help, right? And the revenge is bad, and revenge doesn't get you anywhere, and all this kind of jazz. I'm sure that's the main ethos we're meant to take away from this, that revenge just turns you into a bit of a monster and you lose track of what you were doing in the first place. My issue with it is she went through all of that. She went through so much. She got so many people killed. She lost the woman she loves. And she was seconds away from fulfilling her goal of killing Abby, finally, after weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in-game. And she gets one little flashback and she decides to stop. And I don't know what the game's trying to tell me there. Is it just telling me that it's best to move on and drop revenge? That's all well and good. But Ellie has, up till that point, murdered hundreds and hundreds of people. Hundreds and hundreds of lives, human, alive lives, have been taken because of her revenge mission. Then she gets to the end and she suddenly decides to stop. That does not land well with me at all. What I would have preferred, maybe even a bleaker ending, yeah, sure, whatever, is... Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Why would she stop right at the end? She just wouldn't. It doesn't track at all with the entirety of Ellie's story. It doesn't line up for me in the slightest. What I would have liked is... No, I mean, don't worry, it's not a happy ending, but Ellie kills Abby. I don't know what goes on, ignore that. Ellie kills Abby, and then she... I don't know, we just pan out, she's just sitting in the ocean. She just sits there. She doesn't have anything left to do. She's done everything. You know, she poured her entire soul and existence into this revenge mission, and now it's completed. There's nothing left for her. She knows Dina's gone. She knows there's nothing to go back to. That's everything she has, and that would actually, I think, suit the point a lot more, because the point is, she lost so much of herself to this revenge mission that as soon as it's finished, there's nothing of her left. She's lost her humanity in this mission. As it stands, yeah, she changed her mind at the last second. She goes back, you know, she's off on another adventure somewhere. She's lost Dina. She just loses everything, but she could have lost everything and have it be more impactful. Either way, everything was gone anyway, so I don't think it stuck the landing. The final fight was intense and dramatic and sad, because I grew to like Abby quite a lot. I will say fair play to the game, because at the very start when we were playing as Ellie, and Abby was this monster who murdered Jesse, etc., and, you know, the wolves and the Seraphites were all terrible people. I did not think the game would ever make me care about Abby. I really didn't. And it pulled it off pretty well, honestly. Like, I was very invested in her story. I think I preferred Abby's... Like, if we regard it as two separate playthroughs, the Abby playthrough and the Ellie playthrough, if we ignore the story that connects the two, but instead focus on their individual stories, I think I preferred Abby's quite a lot, actually, to Ellie's. I thought her skills were more interesting. I thought the gunplay was better. I thought her storyline was better. I thought her character development was better. At the end of the day, Ellie didn't really change in this game. She's been hell-bent on revenge since about hour 2. And that did not waver until about 10 minutes ago. That hasn't changed at all. And then, bam, sudden character change. Which I think is part of the problem. Because with Abby at the end there, right, she didn't want to kill Ellie, right? And Abby has twice already left Ellie alive, okay? Up till this point. She's had the jump on her and she's left her alive. Twice already. And we've seen Abby soften, save the kids. You know, we've seen Abby very much move away from the war, and we've seen her grow as a person. So it makes sense that at the end, all she wants to do is look after Lev. We know she cares deeply about Lev. All she wants to do is save Lev, get out of there and get to the Fireflies and start a new life. You know, she's lost everyone she cares about. More than Ellie has. So it makes sense for her that when Ellie tries to start a fight, she's not interested in fighting. She doesn't want to fight. I totally buy that for Abby. I don't buy it for Ellie, because we haven't had that character change. There's a couple of moments where, you know, Dina, blah, 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 might mention, yeah, okay, you're going to lose me if you go on this revenge mission, but she still went on the mission anyway. Ellie has been bloody minded about this revenge mission since the very start of the game, and for it all to get undone, after murdering hundreds of people, and after, like, beating in the face of bloody Nora just to get the information she wants, for killing a pregnant woman, for it all change at the final second, I just don't buy it. And I'm a little bit annoyed by it. I don't think it's a satisfying ending. I really enjoyed the game, and I'm not one of those people who thinks like a bad ending can ruin a game. Like Mass Effect 3 didn't have a great ending, but I still loved it and I adore the trilogy. Same with this, I don't think that was a great ending, but I really enjoyed the game. There was a lot of criticism about the game, about the story and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people said it was like a fan fiction, and honestly I think people were just annoyed about having to play as Abby. I think that's the crux of the problem. I totally bought into it, and I do think it's interesting to view the same story from both sides and see what drives both of these women on an individual level, and see what they've lost and what kind of pulls them together. And again, I think it was done much better on Abby's side than Ellie's side. So I don't really have a problem with that. What do I have a problem with? Yeah, I just don't think it ended. I just don't like that choice of the ending. I don't think pulling out of the kill at the end is a satisfying way to end it. And I don't mean satisfying as in, oh, it doesn't make me feel good or whatever. I don't care about that. I don't care about an ending that makes me happy, per se. I want an ending that's satisfying in it's logical, or it makes sense, and it fits the story, and it fits the character motivations established up till this point. I don't care about a happy ending. I don't really care about satisfying endings in the traditional sense, in that, you know, oh, Ellie wins the day because she's our character from the first game, or likewise if it was Joel, blah, blah, blah. You know, Abby, there could have been alternate endings where Abby kills Ellie, and I would still be satisfied as long as it made sense. Actually, even that would have worked for me. If Ellie doesn't manage to kill Abby, but vice versa, what happened, so flip the roles at the ending, and Abby's winning the fight, nearly drowns Ellie, and Ellie's like cut and bleeding and dying, she nearly drowns her, and Abby's the one who pulls off, hops on the boat with Lev and sails off, and leaves Ellie behind, sort of bleeding out, dying slowly, whatever, or maybe she'll be fine, but the point is, if it was Abby who pulled out at the last second, I would have bought it a lot more, just because of how the characters have changed throughout the game. I never bought Ellie's hesitance and reticence about the murdering, because she didn't. I think the difference is, sorry, I'm going to talk for a bit about this because it's only short. The difference is, Ellie was like, they've both killed lots of people, don't get me wrong, but Ellie was always doing it to kill Abby. That was it. Ellie killed so many people. Killed Owen, killed Mel, killed Nora, killed the last with the music on, killed tons of people. Because she wanted to get to Abby. That was it. For Abby, that was never the motivation. Her motivation was always, well, it was at some point, but let me think about when did the kids come in? What was Abby doing in the first half of the game? She went with Owen, and then what? I actually don't remember. It's been a long game. The kids came in pretty early, right? In Abby's story. Yeah, she got captured by the Scars. She wanted to be with Owen. That's what her main motivation was. And then she wanted to look after Yara and Lev. And that was it. Like, for her goal for like half the game, probably 2/3 of her entire story, if not more, was saving and protecting Yara and Lev. So her not having that same one-mindedness of hunting down Ellie made a lot more sense. And we even saw she actually hunted down Ellie. She killed Jesse and, you know, went to the theatre. And even then, she left Ellie alive. And Dina. She saved Dina as well. Because of the kid as well. Because of Lev. Lev said, or Yara, I can't remember who. Lev, surely. Lev said, you know, leave him alone, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, Abby! And Abby was like, Urgh. And walked away. I don't buy Ellie's hesitance at the end, though. Didn't fit for me. Didn't make sense. But other than that, I just want to reiterate, I really, really enjoyed the game. I do not have the big negative impression that I know a lot of people had. I know it's a really weird game because critically, the reviews have been outstanding. It's all 9s and 10s out of 10s. User values are way lower than that. I will say, I don't think it's this... it's like an 8 out of 10 game. For me, the gameplay was stronger than the storyline in a lot of ways. Abby's storyline I really enjoyed, Ellie's I thought was weak. The problem is, or the good thing is, I guess, let me think about what I was going to say. I don't know. On the one hand, I think the gameplay is actually really good. I think the fundamental gameplay of the game is really enjoyable. I think you spend too much time looting. I spent half the game, if not more, wandering around picking up loot. That's okay, but the combat's really satisfying, the infected are really interesting. I think we could have maybe done with 1 or 2 new species other than the one we got, but hey ho. And I suppose we had the Rat King as well. That was a remarkably well done sequence, by the by. So all that was really cool. There's lots of really good, terrifying sequences and lots of things I really enjoyed. Lots of weapons I really liked. All that basic stuff that you spend 99% of the game doing is really enjoyable. The story, though, is why the game gets heralded. Because the gameplay is good, but it's nothing particularly unique. The game doesn't do anything with its gameplay that we haven't seen in other games already. A long time ago, you know? I think The Last of Us 1 actually had more interesting, unique gameplay scenarios. Also had giraffes, which helped. The story was solid other than the complaints I've already raised. But I also don't think it was this big, groundbreaking breakthrough that it's being heralded as. I don't think it was particularly brave storytelling. At the end of the day, Ellie survived, Abby survived, didn't kill anyone, just in case, you know. I don't think killing people off willy-nilly is particularly brave storytelling. I don't think the motivation and the revenge is brave storytelling. It's a trope already, like I've already said earlier on. It's getting heralded as the zenith of storytelling in video games, and I fundamentally don't believe that. I believe Mass Effect, for example, might be cliche space opera storytelling, but I think it's a better story than The Last of Us 2 has. That's not to say it's particularly bad, I think it's being overhyped. I think it's being simultaneously underhyped or critically slated where it probably doesn't deserve it by some people, and then given a bit too much love by other people. But I just happen to be meeting in the middle of those, I suppose. It's not quite as good as lots of people are saying, and it's not quite as bad as lots of people are saying. It's an 8 out of 10 game. Which is really good. You know, people hear 8 out of 10 like, how dare you? But it's pretty good. 8 or 7 out of 10, you know. I've really enjoyed it. I've wanted to play it. I'll never play it again. But I did enjoy it. People get a little bit too angsty about that. There was a... I remember all the reviews came out. And I was just checking out the scores. I was on the Last of Us subreddit. And IGN Italia, the Italian branch of IGN, dared to give the game a 7 out of 10. I know, shocking. And the vitriol from the fan base was ridiculous. Absolutely. People were fuming that they would dare to give this game, that none of them had played, by the by, that they would dare to give it a 7 out of 10. Like, it was the most shocking thing in the world. It really annoyed me. Like, you've not played the game and you're here saying, oh, this person's a terrible reviewer because they don't think it's a perfect game. Never mind that I've not played it myself. And it's not a perfect game. There are problems. But it's a good game. It's an 8 out of 10. 7.5, 8 out of 10. I think anything lower than 8 would feel harsh. I'm trying not to let the ending annoy me too much. Okay, there's only so much I can blather on. yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me for this entire playthrough. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves as well. I'm not going to be playing New Game Plus or anything like that, of course. Both my big playthroughs have come to an end in the last few days. It's very scary for me. I think we are going to move on to something else. I get a little bit of lag when I've been playing this game. Now, I'm unsure if it's a Last of Us problem or a Elgato PS4 recording problem. If it's the former, then we're fine. If it's the latter, I'm a little apprehensive about how Monster Hunter will play. Because quick reactions and stuff like that are really important in Monster Hunter, so I'm a little bit nervous. What I'm going to do is probably go record the first hour. If it works out, then great, we'll start a playthrough. If it doesn't, then we're probably not going to. I'll just play it on my own time or something. I have tried to fix this lag issue, but for the life of me, I can't seem to figure it out, so... And I can't buy it on PC, because I'd have to complete the whole campaign again, and I can't be bothered with that. So, anyways, thank you for joining me. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Even if you completely disagree, that's fine. You know, people will interpret the story differently. Oh, last thing I want to talk about. I feel like violence in this game was used for a very specific purpose. A, to give the world realism, but B, to kind of emphasise the brutality of what it is that Ellie and Abby are doing. Ellie in particular, though. I think it has worked against the game, because the game is brutally violent in lots of ways. Which is fine, it doesn't bother me. It's what the world would look like in this scenario. But the problem is, because Ellie has so violently killed so many people, again, the ending lands even less with me, you know? If you could do like a no-kill playthrough or something like that, and then Ellie held out at the end, I'd be like, yeah, I'd buy that. That would have been interesting. If, you know, to give it a little bit of player agency, if you had snuck past many, many enemies in the game, if Ellie had shown herself to be willing to spare life when possible, and had shown that side of herself, which she definitely hasn't, then she got to the end and she was more hesitant to kill Abby, that would have tracked more logically with me, I guess. And then if you go on a murderous spree through the entire game and absolutely slaughter everyone, she kills Abby in cold blood. Again, that would have made more sense. But hey ho, could have done it in lots of different ways. Still a great game. Hope you've enjoyed the playthrough. I will see you lovely folks next time for whatever the hell that may be. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye. Okay, I just want to say a couple more things I've been thinking. Okay, so I want to clear up, like, I feel like I didn't address one or two things. So obviously the point of the flashbacks, let's talk about that, is Ellie's anger and fear and everything here kind of resolves around Joel, right? And Joel's death is kind of fueling this need for revenge, but it's also giving her a purpose. That is her one driving goal in life. And I figured that's why the final flashback in the game is Ellie telling Joel that he took away her meaning in life, right? So not only is she trying to get revenge for Joel, she's hanging on to whatever meaning she can, and for a long time that only meaning is get revenge for Joel. I suspect the point of the final flashback coming not the final flashback, but the one just before that, where we see Joel happy with a guitar. She's now looking back on Joel in that happy state, rather than as this... She's able to remember him as he was, and not just see him in the final few seconds before he died. And that's her letting go of the anger and resentment and this need for revenge. Now, the problem is, of course, it cost her a lot to get there. It cost her Dina, it cost her friends, it cost her fingers. And her fingers via the guitar were, like, keeping her close to Joel in the first place. I understand that. I do. I fundamentally get that. My problem is still that the progression between single bloody-minded revenge to that shift was very, very sudden, and it didn't feel earned. I guess that is my fundamental issue. I understand what the game is trying to do and trying to say on a basic level. I just don't think it earned the end result in the way it thinks it did. But I thought that was interesting. And then, of course, she leaves the guitar behind at the house, because not only could she not play it, but because that was her last kind of connection to Joel, essentially. And I don't think she's forgetting about him, but she's trying to move on with her life for the first time. You know, Joel has dictated the last God knows how many years of her life. Not only was she on this journey cross-country with him, but then she was, you know, living in Jackson with him and trying to rebuild their relationship and find a new purpose in life. And then Joel gets killed, and then revenge for Joel absorbs her entire life, and like her life has been dictated around Joel for a long, long time. And she leaves the guitar behind and walks off into the sunset, because she's not necessarily leaving Joel behind, but she's leaving behind all the hate and anger that encompassed her last memories of Joel. She's going to focus on the happy times we taught her to play guitar, and what he did for her and all this kind of jazz. She's going to go off into the light, just as Abby has done. Both of them have gone to the light in their own way, rather than walking through the darkness. And as Owen said, we have to find the light. Or we stopped trying to find the light, I believe he said. I get all that. I just don't think it felt earned. I just feel the shift was too quick. If we'd had more flashbacks, I think loads more flashbacks actually during that final fight. Like every punch, it flashed up with a face of Joel. Right? That would have been really cool. Like every punch, Joel, Joel, Joel. And then she stabs her or something, and it's Joel, but he's not dead yet. He's like, alright, and it just... I don't know, it had to show a better way of Ellie's coming to the realization that this revenge, that this kill on Abby was never going to repair that damage, that she had to let all that go and move into the light in order to move forward and find new purpose and be a better person and be a happy person again. I just needed more for that shift to occur naturally. I just want to get ahead of this because I feel like people are going to come at me and say, you didn't understand the story. I did. I understood it perfectly. I just think it needed a little bit more. I like the idea though. It just that's it though. That is like basically my only problem, is that that revelation didn't feel deserved at the end, considering what she'd done up till that point. It needed more of a tie-in with what Joel was saying, somehow. I don't know how you would do it per se, but that's what it needed. Anyways, I'm gonna go again. Sorry. I'll eventually stop talking about this game.